Hello students, I am Amit Singh and today I have brought a poem from Beehive book for class 9th students. It is The Lake Isle of Innisfree by W.B. Yeats. So before we start the poem, I want to remind you, if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it and share. So first I introduce you with the poem. The poem consists of only 12 lines separated into three extracts. Means each extract has 4 lines, and that is called quatrain. The poem The Lake Isle of History is a lyrical poem. It is a musical poem composed by William Butler Yeats, and it was first published in the collection The Rose in the year of 1893. This poem explores the deep and earnest desire of the poet for the peace and tranquility of the place Innisfree, where the poet spent a lot of time as a boy. So, what theme do we get from the poem? Students, when we read the poem, we come to know the poet wants to tell us that man is an inseparable part of nature. He gets peace only in the lap of nature. Nature provides man with scenic sights and sounds which pleases him and enables him to live a peaceful and stress-free life. Now I am going to explain you the poem. This is the first extract of the poem. In this extract, the poet describes physical location on Innisfree, where he will live alone in a self-made cabin. First, have a look on some words like clay, soil, wattles, fences, bean, it is a type of creeper or plant, rose means lines, hive, honeycomb, be loud, loud due to honeybee sound, and glade, an open space, the ice on a river or lake. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 beans rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. Here, the poet tells that he will get up and go. He will go to the place in Innisfree where he spent a lot of time as a boy. When he goes there, he will build a small cabin, a small room there, and that will be made of clay and wattles. He will also grow 9 rows of beans, and he will have a hive for the honey bee at that place. He will live all alone in that place, which will be full of buzzing sound of bees. There will be no one who will disturb him, and he will live a peaceful life there. Now we move to another extract, and this is the second extract of the poem. In this stanza, all the qualities of the new life are stated. The poet needs peace. When the poet reaches there, the pace of life will be slower, nature will take over. First, have a look on some words used in the extract like wheels, wheels means coverings. Generally, women cover their faces, and that are called wheels. Cricket, a type of small insect. Glimmer means shine. Purple glow means deep red shine. And linnet, it is a kind of bird. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the wheels of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. In this extract, the poet says he will feel peaceful there. The feeling of peace is felt slowly and gradually. In the morning, when it is cloudy and the view will not be clear, it will seem, it will look like that the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. And by looking at this scene, the poet will feel peaceful. The poet further says that this is the place where the cricket insect sings, and he will get peace from that sound made by those insects. Midnight will be also glimmer, means when the night falls, the twinkling stars at night in the open sky will give him peace. And noon, a purple glow, means in the afternoon, when the sunlight will give a purplish glow, it will also give him peace. An evening full of linnet's wings, means during the evening, when he will see the linnet bird flying in the sky, then also he will feel peaceful and happy. Now we come at the last extract of the poem. In this stanza, the poet is ready to go to industry. Even now he is standing in the traffic amongst the crowds, but at once he wants to reach at that place. First have a look on some words like lapping. Here in the extract it means touching. The next is shore, means side or brink. Next is pavements, means footpaths. Next is grey, that is brown, means a color. And core, means central part. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep earth's core. In this last extract, the poet says that he will now stand up and go to that place, means to industry, because night and day means all the time he can hear the lake water lapping, means he can hear the sound of lake water striking the shore repeats in his mind. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, means The poet, either standing on the roadway or on the grey colored footpaths, hear it in the deep earth's core, means he can hear the sound of lake water in the innermost part of his heart. He is greatly influenced by that place. He wants to reach there and live the rest of his life peacefully. So, what moral do we get from the poem? Students, we must learn to appreciate the beauty of nature. The world, you must know, we are living in today is polluted with noise and dirt. All of us want to live a peaceful and stress free life. We can find peace and solitude only in the midst of nature, only in the lap of nature. Now, have a look on some poetic devices used in the poem. First, rhyme scheme. The poem consists of 12 lines separated into three quatrains. Quatrains I have already told you. An extract of 4 lines is called a quatrain. And the rhyme scheme is ABAB, CD, EF. Means we have another way to arrange the rhyme scheme, and that can be ABAB for each stanza separately. The first significant figure of speech is alliteration. The repetition of a consonant sound in two or more closely placed words is called alliteration. Example of alliteration in the poem are: H sound is repeated in hive and honeybee. In the same way, L sound is repeated in lake, lapping, and low. Next is repetition. When a single word or phrase is repeated at intervals to create a musical effect to emphasize a point is called repetition. Example of repetition in the poem is I will arise and go now, and it is repeated in stanza first and third. Next is personification. A poetic device in which human traits are attributed to something abstract or non-living is known as personification. The example of personification in the poem is the wheels of the morning. Here, morning is personified as a woman whose face is covered by a wheel. Now, next is metaphor. The metaphor is a figure of speech in which two unlike objects are compared without using the words, showing comparison like as, so, or like. The example of metaphor is wheels of the morning. How? Here, wheels are metaphorically used for clouds or mist or dew, and these could all appear like wheels that are lifted once the sun rises. Now, next is imagery. Imagery. Imagery means to use figurative language to represent objects, actions, and ideas in such a way that it appeals to any of the five senses of the readers, means sight, hearing, touch, taste, or smell. The example, the poem is filled with imagery, and some examples of imagery in the poem are I live alone in the bee loud glade, and the next is I hear it in the deep earth's core. So these are the examples of imagery. And finally, have a look on some questions. So the first question is, where does the poet want to go and why? So students, the poet wants to go to Innisfree, where he spent a lot of time as a boy. It is a natural place. It is full of beauty. He is fed up with the chaotic life in the city. So he wants to lead a peaceful life in the lap of nature. Innisfree is an ideal place for him. and so he wants to go there. The next question is, what are the three things that the poet would like to do when he goes back to Innisfree? So, students, when the poet reaches there, firstly he will build a small cabin or room of clay and fence. Then he will have 9 rows of beans, and he will also have a hive for the honeybees. Now, next, third question. How will the poet live on the island of Innisfree? The poet will go to Innisfree to live a peaceful life in the lap of nature. He will build a small cabin there. He will have 9 rows of beans as well as a hive of bees. Actually, he will survive on the beans and the honey cultivated by himself. He will definitely go there because he is not willing to live among the crowds in the busy streets of London. Now, the next question is, how is the roadway in London different from the Lake Isle of Innisfree? So, students, the roadway in London is dull and grey. Means the poet doesn't appreciate the life of crowded cities, the life of big cities like London. He's living in London, but he wants to go to that remote place, and that is the lake of Innisfree. According to him, that is a perfect island for him to live in. The poet wants to go there because it will provide him with everything that he desires. And finally, he will get peace there. So, student, now I hope you have got the poem. Soon I will be here with another topic. Till then, thank you and goodbye.